She walked closer.
Moment.
TJ, I'm sorry. For everything. I don't expect forgiveness, but thank you for protecting our son. I didn't say anything. Some wounds don't heal easily. Some betrayals leave permanent scars. But as I looked at Jake, alive, safe, and holding on to me, I knew one thing. I may have lost a wife, but I saved my son. And that makes me stronger than any commander, any rank, any war. First, we're getting into this video. Like, share, subscribe, comment, down, click the bell icon. My name is TJ Forrester, Commander of the United States Military Forces. To the world, I'm a man of discipline, strategy, and unshakable resolve. But at home, I'm simply a husband to Keeney and a father to my 13-year-old son Jake, an 8th grader at Bayview High School. For years, my family was my peace after the battlefield. One evening, after a long day of high-level meetings at the Pentagon, I called Keeney. No answer. I tried again. Nothing. A strange unease settled in my chest, something I rarely felt, even in war. So I called Jake. Son, where's your mom? Is she at home? Jake hesitated. No, Dad. She hasn't come home yet. I've been waiting. I swallowed the worry and told him I'd be home soon. At dawn, when I arrived, Jake ran into my arms. Keeney showed up minutes later, cheerful, acting as if nothing was wrong. We hugged. We had breakfast. And she rushed out again for work, forgetting her lunchbox. That one small mistake changed everything. I drove to her IT office to drop off her lunch. But when I reached her floor, I froze. Through the glass door of her manager's cabin, I saw her boss standing too close. Uncomfortably close. Touching her in a way no man should. And the worst part, she didn't push him away. She didn't speak. She just stood there. Something inside me shattered. I drove home in silence, unable to breathe. That night, I confronted her. Keeney, what was that? Why didn't you say anything? She looked away. TJ, I'll handle it, just be patient, please. But her voice lacked fear. It lacked confusion. It lacked guilt. The next evening, after an urgent briefing, I drove to her workplace again. I told myself I was overthinking, imagining things, letting stress take over. But when I reached the building, her boss's office lights were still on. I walked closer, and through the half-open blinds, I saw the one thing no husband should ever see. The final truth. The betrayal she didn't even try to hide. My world collapsed in one breath. I stepped back, numb, hollow, more wounded than any bullet could ever leave me. When she came home that night, I was waiting. My voice was cold. I can't stay with you anymore. I'm filing for divorce. She didn't cry. She didn't deny it. Instead, she whispered, I love him, TJ. I want to be with him. I'm ready to sign the papers. He stood behind us, silent, broken. He didn't understand adult betrayal, only that his mother was leaving and his father was hurting. His laughter disappeared. His grades crashed. His world turned into a battlefield he never asked to enter. A divorce between adults is painful. But for a child, it's the death of a world. And in the storm between us, I remained a commander of the nation. But I felt like a failure as a husband. Keeney chose her path. I chose to protect my son. And together, Jake and I learned that even the strongest men bleed. Even heroes break. But fathers always rise again. Jake's innocence vanished. Something in Jake's world shattered with those words. The divorce papers were signed faster than I expected. Not because we agreed on anything, but because Keeney didn't want to fight. She didn't look back. She didn't even try to explain herself. But custody was the battlefield she couldn't walk away from. Not because she wanted Jake, but because her new boss, the man she chose, wanted to help her raise him. That thought alone made my blood run cold, After the night everything fell apart, Jake wasn't the same. He didn't talk. He didn't eat properly. He came home from school and locked himself inside his room. His teachers called me. "Commander Forrester, Jake hasn't participated in class for weeks." I tried everything: movies, dinners, talks, even staying home more often despite my position. One night, I sat beside him. "Son, you can talk to me. I'm here, always." Tears slipped down his cheeks. "Dad, why did Mom leave us? Did we do something wrong?" That question stabbed deeper than any war wound. I held him tightly. "Jake, listen to me. You did nothing wrong. Your mother made choices, not you." But even as I said it, I wasn't sure if he believed me. At the first custody hearing, her lawyer spoke without flinching. "Your Honor, Commander Forrester is frequently deployed, often absent, and his career places the child at emotional risk. My client, Mrs. Keeney Forrester, provides a stable environment." Stable. That word echoed in my head like a cruel joke. Then she walked in with her boss, her new partner, sitting confidently beside her, as if he had already replaced me. Jake looked at them and immediately squeezed my hand, hiding behind me. Even the judge noticed. That night, Jake whispered, "Dad, I don't want to go to Mom's house. He's always there. He stares at me like I'm a problem." His small voice was shaking. My anger was volcanic, but I kept it buried. For him. The next morning, I contacted a private investigator, a trusted friend from military intelligence. Find everything you can about that man. Everything. If he was going to be around my son, I needed to know what kind of person he really was 3 days later. I got the file. And what I found inside changed everything. Her boss had a history. Not criminal, but disturbing enough. Multiple harassment complaints. Several HR warnings. Allegations from former employees. A quiet settlement paid years ago. Patterns of manipulation and control. A man like that near my son. Over my dead body. At the next hearing, I walked in with the evidence. Her lawyers smirked. Her boss smirked. Keeney didn't even look at me. But when my attorney placed the documents on the judge's table, the smirk disappeared. The judge read every page in silence, then looked at Keeney, then at her boss, then at Jake sitting beside me, trembling. Finally, the judge spoke. "Mrs. Forrester, your relationship choices are your own. But exposing a child to a man with this history is unacceptable. Temporary primary custody is granted to Commander Forrester." Jake grabbed my arm, eyes wide with relief. Keeney didn't fight. She just stared at the table. Her boss clenched his jaw. That night, Jake hugged me tighter than ever. For the first time in months, he whispered, "Dad, thank you. I'm safe with you." But as I tucked him into bed, a familiar instinct stirred in my chest. This wasn't over. Her boss wasn't a man who accepted defeat. And Keeney, she was already drifting into his world. A dangerous world. And I knew one thing. The real war hadn't even started yet. After the custody ruling, the world outside felt quiet. But I've been a commander long enough to know. Silence is the sound before an ambush. 3 days after the hearing, I got a call from Bayview High. "Commander Forrester, Jake was involved in an incident. A man was waiting outside the school gate. He asked Jake if he missed his mother. Jake ran inside terrified. A cold fire burned in my chest. I knew exactly who it was. Her boss. The man who now wanted to hurt me the only way he could. Through my son. That night, Jake sat by the dining table, trembling. "Dad," he said, "Mom will take me away soon. He said he'll make sure you lose." My fists clenched so hard my knuckles turned white. "Jake, nothing is taking you from me. Do you understand?" He nodded, but I could see the fear still there. 2 nights later, while driving home, headlights flashed in my rearview mirror. The same car kept following me for miles. I pulled into a quiet road and stopped. The car stopped too. I stepped out. The man stepped out. Her boss. A smile on his face that tried to hide the monster behind it. "Commander, you really think you can keep her? Keep the kid? You're playing house, I'm playing strategy." I didn't flinch. "Go near my son again, and you'll see what real strategy is." His expression twisted with anger. He leaned forward. "I already filed an appeal. Your deployments, your classified missions, it's all being reviewed. She'll get custody. And you. You'll be too busy defending your career." Then he drove off into the dark. I stood alone, surrounded by shadows, realizing this wasn't personal for him. It was a game. A power game. And Jake was the pawn. The next day, I received a request to meet Keeney. She wasn't in an office. She wasn't with him. She was sitting in an empty cafe, eyes tired, hands shaking. TJ, he is the man I thought he was. My breath stopped. He's controlling. He checks my phone. He locked me inside his apartment last night. I'm scared. For a moment, the woman I loved, the woman who broke me, looked like she needed saving. But I couldn't forget what she did. I couldn't trust her. Still, I asked, "Where is he now?" She swallowed hard. "He said he's going to take Jake. Tonight. He wants to end this." Every muscle in my body went cold. I called 2 people. Major Daniels, my most trusted officer. Agent Rourke, from military intelligence. Within minutes, my house was under protection. Plainclothes personnel hidden near fences, vehicles, corners. Jake stayed close to me. He noticed the tension. "Dad, is he coming?" I placed a hand on his shoulder. "Not while I'm breathing, son." At 9:47 p.m., a black SUV parked a few houses away. A figure stepped out, walking slowly, purposefully, toward my home. Her boss, the man who destroyed my marriage, the man who wanted my child. He didn't know he was walking into a military perimeter designed by the most strategic minds in the country. He didn't know he was already surrounded. When he reached my gate, I stepped out. He stopped. "TJ, step aside. The boy is coming with me." My heart pounded, but my voice was calm. "You just crossed the last line you'll ever cross." He smirked. "Or what?" Before he could finish the sentence, floodlights snapped on. Armed officers surrounded me. Major Daniels pressed a hand to his shoulder. "Sir, you are under arrest for harassment, threats, and attempted endangerment of a minor." He screamed. He struggled. But it was useless. Jake ran into my arms, shaking. I held him close. "Dad, is it over?" I kissed the top of his head. "For now, yes. And you're safe. You're always safe with me." Keeney stood at a distance, crying silently. For the first time, she realized the cost of her choices. She walked closer. "TJ, I'm sorry. For everything. I don't expect forgiveness, but thank you for protecting our son." I didn't say anything. Some wounds don't heal easily. Some betrayals leave permanent scars. But as I looked at Jake, alive, safe, and holding on to me, I knew one thing. I may have lost a wife, but I saved my son. And that makes me stronger than any commander, any rank, any war. When they dragged him away, he glared at me with the eyes of a man who finally realized he lost.